Man, listen,
Yeah.
Biggie was a big teddy bear, man. He was so sweet. Now, he intimidating because he a big dude. But when you get to loving on him and squeezing on him, he is just a big teddy bear. He tried to work out every situation. He tried to make peace with everybody. That's why the world was so crushed when his life was, taken away so viciously. Like, everybody that knew him was like, man, no, not Big. Big tried to fix everything and love on everybody. He even made all his women try to be friends. Like, Biggie was like the teddy bear of our century, for real. I miss him and love him so much. He would have made such a difference in the rap game today, yo.
Let's be real for a second. D.A. Brat was right there in the middle of everything. Back in the 90s, she was close with Jermaine Dupri, making hit after hit, and rubbing shoulders with all the biggest names in the music world. And yes, that includes the notorious B.I.G. Diddy, and the entire Bad Boy crew. She wasn't just watching from the sidelines, she was in it. So now people are starting to wonder, what did D.A. Brat really see? And more importantly, did she step away before things got too messy? See, back then, hip-hop was a tough space for women. Especially in the male-dominated industry where power, money, and fame could swallow people whole. But somehow, D.A. Brat didn't just survive, she thrived. She stayed focused on her music, worked closely with Biggie, and was respected for her talent. Their song The B-Side, which appeared on the Bad Boys movie soundtrack in 1995, was produced by none other than Jermaine Dupri. And that song wasn't just a track, it was proof that Brat had a seat at the table. Jermaine even once said that Biggie had a deep respect for D.A. Brat. It wasn't just about music. It was about two artists who understood each other and shared the same vision. Biggie appreciated her lyrical skills, her energy, and how she carried herself. They had a connection, built through their creative work and mutual respect in the game. In fact, Biggie even showed up in the remix video for D.A. Brat's song, Give It To You, which says a lot about how solid their bond really was. She also moved in the same tight circles as Diddy, attending the same parties, the same private gatherings. She saw it all, the glamorous events, the whispers in the corners, the secret deals, and all the behind-the-scenes drama. Yet somehow, she stayed out of the worst of it. And that's what people are starting to question. How? How did she avoid being dragged into the deep end of the chaos that eventually consumed so many others in that era? Some fans think she saw things.
Again, landing, getting my page. I go to the, I'm looking at the news in the airport, and the Brat is sitting on the ground crying. I never forget that. Brat is sitting on the curb crying, and I'm like, what happened? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Right on the corner of Fairfax and Wilshire, right there. So I'm like, yo, because everybody was outside. Like, how could that happen? Because people couldn't get in the party too. It wasn't like it was everybody's in the party, nobody was outside. It was a lot of people outside, bro. So people saw it, right?
Maybe things that made her step back. Maybe things that warned her it was time to protect her peace before it was too late. Others believe she knew more than she ever let on, especially when it comes to Biggie's tragic death. It's been talked about for years. Biggie was thinking about leaving Bad Boy Records. And it's no secret that Diddy wasn't happy about that. A lot of folks believe that this was one of the major reasons Biggie was taken out. Some think it was about money, power, and keeping control of the label's biggest star. Rolling Stone even did a deep article on this. Multiple sources said Biggie and Diddy weren't even on the best terms before Biggie's death. When Biggie died, Diddy didn't take time to grieve. Instead, he focused immediately on pushing Life After Death, Biggie's final album. His goal? To make it #1. That's all he could talk about. It gets even darker. According to Kirk Burroughs, a former Bad Boy exec, Rolling Stone wanted to honor Biggie on their magazine cover. But Diddy refused. He wanted himself on the cover instead, to promote his own debut album No Way Out. He told Kirk, "Biggie's gone. I'm dropping my album in July. I need that cover. And that's how Rolling Stone ended up featuring Diddy with the title, Puff Daddy, the new king of hip-hop. Years later, Diddy even admitted during an interview that Biggie's death made him more famous. He said, "I think his passing added to the fame." He openly admitted that at least 2 million copies of No Way Out sold because of Biggie's passing. That's cold. And for many fans, it still doesn't sit right. Kirk also shared that Diddy was jealous of Biggie's friendship with Tupac. At one point, Diddy had wanted to be close with Tupac too, but Pac wasn't having it. He didn't trust Diddy. And when things turned ugly between Pac and Biggie, some believe it was Diddy who pushed Biggie into the beef. He even released Who Shot Ya?
My whole thing about it is that it was somebody in our crew that wanted them to know that Big was in that vehicle. And to separate it, that's where you get there was more than one people trying to kill us. You understand?
You're right.
That's where you get that at, brother. That there was more than one, different people was trying to kill us. Because somebody wanted to know, yo, if y'all gonna get big, here go the car with the stickers on it.
At a time when tensions were already boiling. The song was seen as a direct shot at Tupac, even if Biggie claimed it wasn't. But one person who never let go of the truth was Biggie's mother, Voletta Wallace. For years, she said she believed the Lapt knew who was responsible for her son's murder. She said they did their investigation, found the answers, and still did nothing. To her, it was all a cover-up. A conspiracy meant to protect powerful people and dirty cops. She talked openly about the case, especially during her involvement in the film City of Lies. That movie dove deep into the corruption inside the Lapt and how they allegedly worked to hide the truth. Voletta didn't just do the movie for her son. She did it to honor Russell Poole, the detective who died while trying to expose the truth. She said he died with a broken heart, because he never got to see justice. All he found was lies and betrayal. And then there's Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Bad Boy, who publicly claimed that Biggie's car was marked the night he was killed. In other words, someone wanted him gone and made sure it happened. So when we bring it back to DA Brat, we have to ask, what did she know? She was close with Jermaine. She was cool with Biggie. She was around Diddy and saw things behind the scenes. And yet, she somehow escaped it all. Did she know something that made her keep her distance? Whatever the case, one thing is clear, DA Brat made a smart move by not diving too deep into the mess. She focused on her music, kept her circle tight, and didn't let the chaos consume her like it did so many others. And maybe that's why she's still here today, living her life, telling her story, and watching the game from a distance. But the mystery still lingers. Biggie's death remains unsolved. Diddy continues to face questions about his role and what really happened in those final months. And as new voices keep coming forward and old secrets start to crack open, the truth might finally see the
Biggie was a personal friend of mine, was an amazing person. He was like a big teddy bear, one of the sweetest people that I knew. And what was amazing about him to me was when we would go in the studio together, because we have a song together called A B-Side. And I'm on a couple of those remixes that he did. It's my voice in the background that Jermaine Dupri did. But he would go in the studio and he wouldn't write anything down. So when I was writing with him, I would have my pen and paper and I would just be writing, and I'd be ready with my verse thinking that he ain't working. I got him beat. I'm finna beat him and go in the studio and record before him. Little did I know he had already wrote it in his head. He was the first person that I saw that never wrote anything down. And I don't know how he did that, because he could smoke you under the table. So I'm like, how you smoke so much weed and can remember that and not use a pen and paper to write it down? So Biggie was an amazing person, very talented, and I'm happy to have known him.
Back in the 90s, DA Brat was right in the middle of everything. She wasn't just hanging around, she was truly part of hip-hop's inner circle. She was close to Jermaine Dupri, making hits, and surrounded by some of the biggest names in music, including the Notorious B, I.G. Diddy, and the rest of the bad boy crew. And now, people are starting to look back and wonder, what exactly did DA Brat see during that time? And did she step away before things got out of control? At that time, DA Brat was one of the very few women who had earned real respect in the male-dominated world of rap. And not only was she surviving, she was thriving. She worked closely with Biggie, and the two had real chemistry in the studio. One of their well-known collaborations was the song The B-Side, which appeared on the Bad Boys movie soundtrack. The track was produced by Jermaine Dupri, who had a working relationship with both artists. He once shared that Biggie had a lot of respect for DA Brat, not just as a rapper, but as someone who was authentic and serious about her craft.